Now that we set up our basic exposure model, we can refine our model with our own data. The NSI data source downloads already parameters like finished floor height, ground elevation, and maximum potential damages. Before we make any changes, let's have a look what the model looks like right now. To do so, go on the View Model tab and select the parameter you would like to update. Let's have a look at the finished floor height. This is what the finished floor height looks like based on the NSI data. To update this with our own data, because for instance we did a ground truth study or any other reason, we can go back to the Exposure tab and go to the Finished Floor Height tab. Here we can upload any kind of vector file, which can be a point or a polygon file. Let's have a look what this file could look like. I created this point data in a GIS tool. Let's have a look at the attribute table. Here we have a column called Finished Floor Height, which holds dummy data. These are unreasonable values. I just selected them to visualize the actual difference between the NSI data and your data. The name of the column can be anything. It does not matter as you're selecting the column later on. So don't worry about that. We can also select polygons. Here, I created these 4 polygons. Let's look at the attribute table and we see the finished floor height. As you can see here, I have a different name. Now all the assets of our exposure data that will fall into these polygons will have a new value. Value number 10. So let's load this file into our model. To do so, select Source, go to your folder where you have the files, and I will now open the polygon file. The file is loaded into the model. I click Load. So now the columns of the data appear. As I mentioned earlier, the name of the column does not matter in this case. Just select the column that holds your data. Let's select Finished Floor Height. In the settings, we can define if we want to choose the spatial method to join our data to be intersection or nearest. The default for polygon data is intersection, which will be automatically selected by the model. For point data is nearest. In the settings, you can define the distance. We don't need to do that right now because we would like to keep the default. So let's just click Add to Model. And our finished floor height was added to our model. To now visualize the differences, we actually have to create the model. So we need to quickly add the vulnerability and select Create Model. Now we can visualize the actual differences. Go to View Model, select the finished floor height, and we can clearly see the different finished floor height values. All the assets that fell into the polygon of my data are now with a finished floor height of 10 feet. We have 3 feet, 4, and, 3. All the points that fell out of the polygons kept their original data. This is how we can update the finished floor height.